Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. I am sorry. I am like super late, but like I was doing some recording this weekend and just about everything that I could have gotten wrong putting my setup back together went wrong. So I'm still kind of fixing things here. So let's start out. Well, first, let's make sure that the music is working. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're good on that. And gonna get a volume profile. I can, kind of. I have to move it. So like, what happened is it like the Windows have been messing around with KVM switches, and I guess like it thinks that the Windows changed. Like once you get the Windows set up where they're supposed to be and everything, it's fine. You switch with the KVM switch, it's fine. But the monitors changed. The devices see that the monitors changed, and so it's like repositioned on my Windows. I have to fix it. But only have to do that once. Okay, so here's the Treasuries. We did see a little bit of upside action on the 4th, but man, that non-farms payroll really killed us, right? And we're pushing a little bit lower here. We're kind of back into like maybe some difficulty with rates because the economy still looks okay, but we're getting all of this trade deal stuff this week, which I think might pressure the markets. So S&P 500. Okay. Oil's heading a little bit higher again today. Gold, silver taking a bit of a hit. Copper really taking a hit. Japanese yen coming down further after non-farms really beat them. And Bitcoin holding it okay, though. So, very interesting. So this is the one that's the most annoying. Is like, oh my gosh, did I just show you all of that without showing the right screen? For historical purposes, we have to pull up the old one, right? Okay, so the thing that annoys me the most is you see how some of these are like up there? It's like everything just gets positioned up a little bit higher. Ugh. That sucks. Okay, so let's fix these. Let's fix this screen first. It's kind of funny when we get like significant ticks, even if my eye is like on the other screen, I still totally see it. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Okay. Hopefully this is the last time I have to do this, because I think that I had to switch it to one and another, and then I'm actually testing 2 KVM switches right now. So I'm going to take this other one and put this other one in. It's probably going to redetect all of the devices all over again. And I have to do this all over again. Okay, so now for this one, I think I'm going to have to use the keyboard shortcuts and then resize it. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm not going to worry about getting it absolutely perfect, pixel perfect over here, because I might have to just do this again. Oh, wait, didn't we, oh, that's right. Oh, I also don't have this. Let's fix the lighting, huh? Jeez. There we go. Man, my beard's looking awfully gray today. Need to shave it down. Hmm. There we go. How did we decide this worked? So the fancy zone, and then there's allow it to use something like allow child windows snapping. But when I click and drag on a NinjaTrader window, it doesn't detect it as a window. Does it detect the main one as a window? It doesn't even detect the main one as a window. So the fancy zones don't work. Oh well.
Block cell.
Okay. Better. Yeah, there's something else I have to do. I have to find a serial key for these headphones that we're not keeping. I have to fix that. Okay. Okay. All right, well, the Treasuries haven't done much while I was doing all that. Took me 30 minutes to get up and running, but they have barely moved at all. So, let's do a little bit of footwork here, figure out what's going on this week. I think that we probably have inflation numbers later, right? Actually, no. We don't get any. Well, let me double check here, make sure that I've got. Okay. So not really. We do have a 10-year bond auction on Wednesday. FOMC meeting minutes. But other than that, a very quiet week. So then next week, we get CPI. Very interesting. So it's quite unusual for us to get this, like, where the second or third week in the month is just completely dead. But it is. CPI is not until the 15th. So that is kind of interesting. Well, we do have all of this stuff going on with trade war developments. I think that is significant. So they might be a little bit quiet until we kind of get the details of all of that. There's a couple of deals like with Europe and Japan that kind of sound like they might be last minute. Proposed Gaza ceasefire details revealed as Netanyahu visits White House on Monday. Here we go. Here's the articles I've been waiting for. Companies that tried to save money with AI are now spending a fortune hiring people to fix its mistakes. From Futurism.com. Companies that rush to replace human labor with AI are now shelling out to get human workers to fix the technology's screw-ups. As the BBC reports, there's now something of a cottage industry for writers and coders who specialize in fixing AI's mistakes, and those who are good at it are using the opportunity to rake in cash. Sarah Skid, an American product marketing manager, told the British broadcaster that she's not concerned about being replaced by the technology because, as her recent work experiences have taught her, she's often tasked with cleaning up its many mistakes. Earlier this year, Skid was approached by an agency that urgently needed someone to redo copy for a client that, after having an undisclosed AI chatbot do the work to save a few bucks, the writing was typical of AI, she noted, calling it very basic and uninteresting. It was supposed to sell and intrigue, but instead it was very vanilla. When the marketing maestro got down to business, she realized it was going to require a complete overhaul. Ultimately, she spent 20 hours redoing the copy from scratch, and with her $100 per hour rate, that meant her client was shelling out $2,000 for copy that likely would have ended up being far cheaper had a human just written it in the first place. With more and more companies rushing to replace the workers they fired during the pivot to AI craze over the past few years, things are shaking out in unexpected ways. According to Sophie Warner, the co-owner of the UK-based digital marketing agency Create Designs, she's been fielding more and more requests from clients to clean up after AI mistakes. Before, clients would message us if they were having issues with their site or wanted to introduce new functionality. Now they are going to ChatGPT first. Well, what I'm not hearing about is programmers in this article so far. Julie, good morning. That's a new name. Welcome to the stream. Let's see here. Where were we? In one recent case, a client ended up going without a website for 3 days and having to pay Create Designs nearly $500 over a small line of code that ChatGPT had written for them. The original update would, Warner said, have taken about 15 minutes to implement manually. Oh, we often have to charge an investigation fee to find out what's gone wrong, as they don't want to admit it, she told the broadcaster. The process of correcting these mistakes takes much longer than if professionals had been consulted from the beginning. Given that they're now profiting off the technology's mistakes, neither woman is particularly concerned about or even against AI, but they are frustrated that people think it can replace expert work. While it seems like a quick and inexpensive option, AI rarely takes into account unique brand identity, target demographics, or conversion-focused design. Warner said it simply cannot replace the value of human expertise and context in our industry. Well, I feel like that it can if you prompt it to do that, but you're only going to prompt it to do that if you're an expert in the first place, right? Like, so it is true. Like, the AIs make work significantly more efficient, but it does not replace expertise. The question is, does it make the experts so efficient that you need less of them? I think in some cases, yes, but I think in a lot of software world, I think no. In fact, I think in the software world, it could be the opposite. I think in the software world, it removes so many barriers that it allows you to scale in a crazy way that people will want to hire as many people as they can in some instances, if you have a scalable business. Maybe I am being naive, the American marketer said, but I think if you're very good, you won't have trouble. Well, but that's for marketing. It's interesting. Interesting that it's for marketing. Okay, so I think on the camera here that I had things at a higher, different arbiters. Trying to figure out what that would be. So I have it like open as wide as it will go, and that's definitely not. That's better. I look super red today for some reason. Maybe it's just me. Or maybe it's a, let's see here. Seth, you trade the bund? No. I would have to pay a little bit more per month to get the data from the European exchanges. And I never trade it, and I don't really have any interest in trading it anyways. So why spend the extra? I think, it wouldn't make sense unless I was going to wake up much, much earlier. Oh, we did move down to the bottom. That's true. Granted, that was basically the bottom of the range that we've been trading just before, though. So that's okay. So now that was a real break. Interestingly, it did it like it just got shoved. Didn't take much volume at all. They just kind of pulled out of the way. I honestly would be a little bit suspicious of that because we've been super tight. I don't know. So like the thing is we were super, super tight for the first 30 minutes, right? Then we had a quick move up and back down across that range. And it broke the bottom of this range with not very much volume. I would be very, very suspicious of market maker shenanigans. At the same time, if we come back and we look at like the full session, there was actually a decent amount of volume way up above us earlier in the session. So like they're quite a ways. They bounced to the tick off of the seller's cost basis. So that right there was like a rebalancing by the market makers and then pushing this down again. Yeah, that's kind of suspicious movement that I would probably put down more to market maker shenanigans than like an informed trader moving things. So I haven't said anything about the Elon Musk situation, but we probably should keep an eye on that, huh? Probably should. By the way, was that too much? Yeah. I think what we're going to do is we're going to return these headphones, and I'm going to buy a new audio interface that gives us more gain. Yeah, so I was like, let's talk about Elon, and then I didn't say anything. Hold on. I'm still like adjusting my a couple of things. I'm just like my voice is not quite as loud in my earphones as I would like. That's a little bit better though. Okay. So let's pull up Tesla, shall we? But yes, Elon is saying that he is going to form his own political party, and they already like filed all of the paperwork and everything. Now, okay, yeah, they're down big. Actually, so when was it? We have to zoom out further than that. They've got a ways to go. So it was over here. It was over here when he was like having his crash out, right? And then he kind of backed off. So I think that there could be more selling, because now that he's kind of taken the step, like he's burning the bridge now, man. He stepped off the bridge and turned his lighter on. I don't think it's completely unsalvageable, but by the end of the week it will be, right? And then we see how Tesla fares. It would be awfully interesting if Tesla turned into a toxic stock, like all of the people that just absolutely loved this stock and stuck with it no matter what and everything, all of the sudden if it turned into a stock that nobody wanted to touch. Because I really think that its value has come from a lot of money going into there because it's the hottest stock, and not because of the fundamentals of Tesla, you know? And so if those flows flip, it could get ugly. It could get really ugly. That's for Tesla. Now, does this have larger political implications? It might. Here's the thing. I think that Elon is going to have a very hard time getting very much traction for his political party. I think that he way underestimates the amount of effort involved in getting a political party to take off like that. He probably thinks that I've just got to place the right, pay the right social media guys and everything to really push this and astroturf it, and it will take off. But I really think that it's harder than that, and he wouldn't be the first super rich guy to try and fail, right? But even if he had the money and it worked, I think you have a very hard time getting people to really jump on board your political party on that issue, right? Like the whole thing that I think is frankly a little bit comical about this whole situation. It makes me wonder if maybe Elon Musk is just using this as an excuse to try and push his own political ambitions, or if he always planned on doing this. Because the reality of the situation is there's really not a whole lot you can do about the budget if you're not willing to touch entitlements. That's just don't hate the messenger, folks. That's just the way it is. If you're not going to touch entitlements, you're probably not changing anything. Because the biggest, it's like 70% of the budget is mandatory spending on things like Social Security and Medicare. You're not going to fix that. without cuts to entitlements or big tax increases. There's just no way around that. So, do you really want to be the one to go and touch the third rail? Musk reminds me of the character Corey. I have not watched that. Is that a movie? A TV series. I mean, with the way that things have been going in Hollywood, it wouldn't surprise me if the character was written to be Elon. Like, Elon has been the bad guy in so many movies. Like, King Kong versus Godzilla, the bad guy is obviously Elon Musk. It's kind of funny how that's been working in politics, that it's like we don't want to attack certain political parties or anything like that, so we have to make the bad guy corporate America. Every time. And they always make it a caricature of Elon. But you know what I think happened? Because Elon Musk was hanging out with the Hollywood crowd, right? Like, there, he was with Amber Heard and all that sort of stuff. And some of them have even said that they've done weird things with him, like, like occultish type things, where I think that Elon Musk is just kind of playing around. But, yeah, I think that all of these Hollywood guys hung out with him, kind of didn't like him because he is autistic, and then all wrote their stories about him, making him the bad guy. So really, if you think about it, it always comes back to complexity for me. Complexity is kind of like a universal speed limit of sorts. Like, I kind of think if God put us on this earth so that we can learn and grow and develop and become greater than we are now, then is there possibility that individuals can just become too powerful, that it would disrupt what God is trying to do? And I think maybe, and the solution to that is complexity. Like the universe is so complex that we simply don't have the brain power to process all of the transactions and see what would happen. So we have to utilize bigger processes, simulate it, work together in groups to determine how we should deal with that particular issue, and make small changes over time. And that's kind of like the speed limit. And we keep getting all of these billionaires that basically think, well, because I've been successful, I have it all figured out. And then complexity comes along and smacks them in the face. And it's like, actually, no, you don't. I don't know. I mean, is it inevitable that Elon Musk will lose his place as the richest man in the world? I kind of think that it is. But I probably shouldn't like speak on him too strongly. I mean, I don't really have like a vendetta against him or anything like that. I'm just watching what's happening right now, and I'm like, well, I think you're making a foolish decision. This is one where I think that you just put your nose down and say, well, you know, thank you for working with me. We'll try and work in the future, and you try and, you know, nudge things your way over time. Throwing it, you know, saying like, I'm gonna throw a fit and take my ball home, I don't think gets you very much. We'd have more power if he just said yes, sir, and stuck with the line for now, you know? So I'm going to say it's not too significant, but my call earlier that move down and that break of the low looked like market maker shenanigans to me seems to be turning out correct. It's been about 30 minutes since that happened too, so... Oh man, yeah. Now, the other thing that's in the news is the Epstein thing, because then now they're saying that there's not a client list, but like Pam Bondi was saying there was a list. Either they were pulling our leg before or they're lying now. I'm kind of partial to thinking that they were kind of exaggerating what they had before. Gonna sneeze here. Laid off workers should use AI to manage their emotions, says Xbox executive. You gotta be kidding me. That, you know what, if I was an executive in Xbox with the way that has all gone and everything, I would be keeping as low of a profile as possible. Am I wrong? First comment is just, what the actual F. I am a little bit like, why would you say something dumb like that? Let's ask ChatGPT about this. An Xbox executive says that laid off workers should use AI to manage their emotions. Can you explain to the Xbox executive why this is a bad idea and why, given the history of Xbox, that such executives should not be commenting on such issues? I'm gonna let it type. Let it type.
Certainly. Here's a direct but thoughtful response that explains why the Xbox executive's comment is inappropriate and contextualizes it with Xbox's own history. To the Xbox executive, suggesting that laid-off workers should use AI to manage their emotions is not only tone-deaf, but fundamentally misunderstands the human impact of job loss. Being laid off is not a productivity issue to be solved with automation. It's a profound disruption to someone's livelihood, stability, and identity. Offering AI as a coping mechanism risks coming off as a deflection from the real ethical and economic responsibilities companies have to their employees. Moreover, coming from an Xbox executive, this statement is especially inappropriate. The history of Xbox and Microsoft's broader gaming division includes numerous layoffs, studio closures, and abrupt project cancellations, often without warning to staff. For example, the 2023-2024 wave of Microsoft layoffs affected over 10,000 employees, including entire game studios and longtime industry veterans. These weren't performance-related firings. They were cost-cutting measures during a period of record profits. Microsoft's acquisitions, such as ZeniMax and Activision Blizzard, have often been followed by staff reductions that create anxiety throughout the industry. Suggesting that workers should lean on AI to deal with that anxiety feels dismissive and corporate sanitized. Emotions after a layoff are not a bug to be debugged. They're a signal of grief, disillusionment, or concern for one's future. What laid-off workers need is respect, support, and transparency, not an AI chatbot that tells them to breathe deeply and reframe their mindset. If Xbox or Microsoft wants to meaningfully help displaced workers, there are real options. Severance packages, job placement services, career counseling, mental health support from real professionals, and most importantly, a little human empathy. That goes a lot further than outsourcing the emotional labor to an algorithm. Would you like this turned into a tweet, blog post, or quote graphic for social media?
I'll post that on the thread. I did come back down to the low. You know, I think that if I had to take a trade today, it would be short. I just don't think that you're going to get it's really worth like all of the grief right now. It's just super slow and tight. I'm not even going to bother turning the robot on because I don't want it to trade in this kind of action. Oh, good. They did touch that out too. It was a new low. But you can kind of see that they're just like, yeah, just kind of nibbling at it. Okay, that was interesting. That was an interesting tick. So they kind of been nibbling at it at 0.2, a 1/2. They've traded about 7,000 contracts there, and then they ticked back up. There was they had to tick 2479 to make it tick up, but then when they did, there was immediately 2,000 there on the bid. And now they've traded back down through that. Not all of that held, but there is something going on here that kind of suggests to me there is a big seller here. There is a big seller here, but that somebody was willing to kind of step up at least for a moment. Now, sometimes that sort of thing, I suppose that could be a trick. You could go in and say, okay, well, I really need, I'm selling and I really need people to buy it. So let's fake a really strong uptick to get people to buy here. Possibility. But I think that whole thing did kind of show us there is a big seller there, and that this is kind of a spot where, for whatever reason, they just don't want to outright sell it through. We'll see if buyers respond to that or not. Okay. You think that they'll push them away from it before we have to go? I think that this little battle here probably doesn't mean much in the greater scheme of things, but like, it's the most interesting thing to happen on the tape today. So what you gonna do? Well, I guess this move up and back, that was kind of interesting too, but a little out of nowhere, unexpected. Oh, you're gonna use? Wait, you can use Edge Pro X with a prop firm? What prop firm allows you to use Edge Pro X? You know, I've kind of come to the realization that, well, you know, like prop firms, they're just going to completely take over our industry. And I mean, they've really kind of already taken over our industry, haven't they? Everybody, it used to be that everybody that futures trading was like a lot less common, right? Now, pretty much everybody that's day trading is trading spoos on prop firms. Future funded net. I'm not quite sure I'm. Do I have that one? Hold on. Funded Futures Network. Funded Futures. No, maybe there's one that says Network. I don't think I have this one on my list. Yeah. Well, let's come and see. Rules. You can trade the news. That's cool. But then your exhibition account, you can't trade the. You can reset your exhibition account for insane amounts of money. Well, not insane, but a couple $100. So they don't have very good information on here, but it sounds like that they are a two-step plan. So I think so they are definitely a two-step plan, but the question is, do you get payouts on the exhibition account? So it's whether they fit in this one or this one. I think we're going to say that you can only get payouts after gaining a live account. Funded Futures Network. Unclear. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt by saying that you can only get payouts after gaining a live account, and it's a 2-step process. Okay, so it's about time for me to get going. It looks like they were able to uptick at 0.2 and get a decent bid, so yeah, I believe it's only after gaining a live account, but I do not currently know for a fact, to be honest. Yeah, their website is super, they must be super new because their website is not explicitly clear on this. I could start a chat with them, but I've got to go soon, so I don't think that would make sense right now. Okay, well. Oh, it does say in their fact that they have payouts on the SIM funded account. Okay, well. Okay, well, I have a bunch of things on my mind, but I don't think that we have anything to go for today. It's going to be a quiet week. I think tomorrow, I should try and come out the gate ready to program, because it is going to be probably going to be a slow week. With you know, things kind of stay on our toes because there is like trade deal stuff going on this week, right? So, but until next time, stay excellent.